Boston actually has one of the lowest rates of car thefts in the country.
But why are so many cases of stolen cars unsolved? The I-Team's chief investigator, Cheryl Fiandaca, went looking for answers.
In Massachusetts, a car is stolen every 10 minutes.
Set them on fire, leave them there.
On Monday of this week, 60 cars were stolen in the city of Boston alone. It's a problem that needs constant attention. As you well know, Jack and Liz, everybody knows somebody who's had a car stolen, it seems.
In the 1980s, Massachusetts was known as the car theft capital of the country, with more than 50,000 cars stolen every year.
I hope that in a year or two we can come back to you and tell you that one of our distinctions in this state is not being number one when it comes to auto theft.
Boston was at the epicenter. The police formed its own task force to tackle the problem.
Jimmy Riley and Dan Donovan, two of the 48 officers assigned to the Auto Theft Task Force. I rode with them as they looked for the telltale signs of a stolen car.
The state took action too, forming its own strike force and passing laws to increase jail time for repeat offenders.
The whole unit might be wiped out by budget cuts.
By the early 2000s, the number of stolen cars dropped significantly, and the state disbanded its unit.
All right, vehicle stopped at this time.
Now, decades later, some worry that the bad old days could be coming back. After what were historic declines, FBI statistics show Massachusetts is seeing an uptick in stolen cars. More than 17,000 have been stolen every year since 2019. In most cases, the cars are recovered, but the thieves are rarely caught. And in Boston, FBI data obtained by CBS News shows over the last 3 years, on average, more than 1,000 cars were stolen. But the police solved less than 2% of the cases. The Boston police refused our request for an on-camera interview, telling us it recovers more than 82% of the cars that are stolen. As for the low arrest number, it said it couldn't confirm the FBI's data and had no comment.
So there's not a full court press on this right now in the police department. That's not to say that it's not important, but you're not going to assign a team of detectives to canvass a neighborhood on a simple stolen car. It just doesn't happen.
Former Boston Police Commissioner and WBZ security analyst Ed Davis says it's important to know why the cars are being stolen. Is it for joyrides, to ship overseas, or something worse?
There are very serious criminals that know how to steal cars and will use them in perpetrating more serious crimes, like an armed robbery or a bank robbery or even a homicide.
But in other parts of the state, police are dealing with organized thieves.
I would say this is the next big thing to worry about.
This wild video shows a brazen thief speeding through side streets, crashing into parked cars in Maynard.
In my 30 years cop here, I've never seen so many stolen cars in a recent span. It's very challenging because they come into town in stolen cars, so we can't trace those back to them. We processed the cars that they stole, and we couldn't get any kind of prints or anything. But they're definitely coming in organized and knowing what they're doing.
Not only do they know what they're doing, they're getting away with it. Over the last several months, a ring of thieves broke into nearly a dozen dealerships in at least 4 states, driving off with expensive, high-end cars.
They came in through here. They pushed the AC in right through there. And one person, skinny person, sneaked right through the window.
Elias Delalay is a co-owner of Canton Auto Service and Auto Body. He says the band of thieves hit the jackpot when they broke into his shop in June.
These guys were professional. 2 cars were stolen, 3 cars were vandalized, and they took over 10 keys and titles. They took the whole 700-pound safe. They were able to cut it 4 corners right here, so that's the way you see it. They found in Providence, police found it in the river. I went and picked it up.
Choice Auto Center in Shrewsbury was also targeted. Security video shows what looks like the same group of thieves going after big-ticket cars.
And within 10 minutes, broke into our key room, broke into our facility, and somehow drove out with 3 cars, which is very difficult, very expensive cars, very. Between the three, I think it was roughly like $140,000 between 3 cars.
2 of the cars were recovered. The third has not been found, and no one has been arrested in either case.
I think everyone's taking it seriously.
Recently, after this Hampstead, New Hampshire showroom was broken into, investigators were able to track down the suspects using gas station security video and phone records.
The phone records further confirmed locations, and security footage also further confirmed the locations that they were in Hampstead, New Hampshire the night of the burglary.
Police are investigating the possibility that the same men are involved in the other burglaries and thefts.
Hold these people responsible. Unfortunately, these police officers just handing us the note to go through our insurance companies just isn't cutting it anymore.
I don't want to go out of business. They took my life saving, that's all I want to say.
The dealership owners we spoke to say they've yet to be compensated by insurance for their loss. As for individual car owners, theft coverage is optional, and not everyone buys it. Cheryl, Fiandaca, WBZ News.